What's up? It's Jacob with Next Big Thing Sports here, back with another video, and today's topic is, did the New York Yankees get better after missing out on Juan Soto this summer? We're going to talk about it. So first thing we got to do is we're going to start with the basic stuff. Let's dive into what Juan Soto did last year for the Yankees. He hit .288, 41 bombs, 109 ribbies, and 157 games for the Yankees. Soto finished last year's MLB season with an 8.1 WAR, good for 4th in the MLB, and with a 178 OPS plus, which was good for 3rd in the MLB, so top 5 in both of those statistics. And he finished 3rd in OPS as well, with a terrific 989 OPS. That's what you're going to get from Soto. Maybe his two best qualities are his slug and his ability to get on base, which obviously makes for a great OPS. So before we get started, comment down below, what do you think? Do you think the Yankees got better by missing out on Soto and adding these 4 guys above me that we're going to talk about? So obviously, as you can see, Soto with a 7.9 WAR. When you add up the WAR of the 4 guys they replaced Soto with, it comes out to 8.4, which is just a little bit better than what Soto has, and that's with 4 players combined. So first, I want to talk about the guy who's going to be replacing Soto at his position, Cody Bellinger, who, after a resurgent 2023, struggled a little bit in 2024, hit .266, 18 bombs, 78 RBIs, and 130 games for the Cubbies last year. One thing I do want to point out is that I think Cody Bellinger is a really good fit for Yankee Stadium. Here's a hit spray chart from Cody Bellinger's 2024. As you can see in the home runs up there in the red, Cody Bellinger only hit 3 home runs that were not pulled. This will play well for him as a lefty hitting in Yankee Stadium. He should have a chance for a big power season with that short porch in right field. So I think it's a great fit for the Yankees. I think it's just a matter of, can he find it again? He wasn't terrible last year. He was great in 2023. Can he find that again? And if so, that's a really good trade that the Yankees made to bring him in. Next guy I want to talk about is Paul Goldschmidt here. Paul Goldschmidt really struggled last year. 22 home runs, played to a 716 OPS and a 98 OPS plus. Both of those not great. But the stat I want to talk about with Goldschmidt here, in the gray down at the bottom of my screen, is Goldschmidt's second half stats from last year. He played to a 799 OPS, a 480 slug, and hit .271 last year in the second half. All those are significantly better than what he did in the total season. He really struggled in the first half. He showed that he still had it last year in the second half and had a relatively really good second half. If he can find more of that, I think Goldschmidt still does have some juice. But I don't know. It all comes down to, was he just hot in the second half? How much juice does Paul Goldschmidt really still have left? But I think it was worth noting that he was a lot better in the second half last year, even though overall, not a great season. Then you have Devin Williams here. The only thing holding Devin Williams back last year was health with 22 games played and Pete Alonso. But other than that, Devin Williams is absolutely terrific. He's an A-tier closer, another really good trade for the Yankees this offseason. Then you bring in Max Fried on a ginormous deal. He's a guy last year, 29 starts, 3.25 ERA, all-star last year. He's 30 years of age. And you bring him in on an 8-year deal worth over $200 million. 8 years, $218 million, being the exact number. Fried's a good player. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of years. But overall, it's another big piece for their rotation. Was probably the best lefty on the market. You could argue Sean Manaea, but he's definitely the most proven lefty on the market. But still, that's a lot of... But overall, a good contract. The Yankees have the money to go out and pay a guy like that for 8 years. So good contract for the Yankees. So now, let's get back to this guy. When you factor all this in, these are 4 pretty good players that the Yankees brought in. Does that replace the production that Juan Soto brought for the New York Yankees last year? And let's answer the question. Are the Yankees going to be a better team in 2025? It's also worth noting that Gleyber Torres did walk and sign a year with Detroit, a guy who was great down the stretch for them last year and terrific in the playoffs as well. And Giancarlo Stanton is also hurt, but I'm not really going to factor that in as far as like the offseason stuff with Soto. But in my opinion, when you factor in the loss of Soto and the fact of Torres, I don't think the Yankees got better this offseason. But I will back that up by saying I do think the Yankees did as good as they could do with missing out on Soto. Again, you look at the guys they brought in here. I think Devin Williams is going to be terrific. I think most of this hangs on Cody Bellinger. I think Max Fried, if he's healthy, and obviously we're always going to assume that guys are going to stay healthy for 162 when talking about stuff like this. If Max Fried's healthy, I think Max Fried is going to be great. But even if you get like let's think best case scenario out of this. Let's say Cody Bellinger's back to 2023 form. Let's say he hits 35 homers next year. Max Fried pitches to like a 3 ERA. Devin Williams is one of the best closers in baseball again with a sub-2 ERA. Paul Goldschmidt keeps up his second half. If all that happens, then yeah, maybe you could say Yankees won the offseason. They got better. But even then, in the long term, I still don't think, because guys like Paul Goldschmidt's on the way out, I just don't think in the long term they won the offseason. But maybe it buys them a year. Maybe you could say they're better next year. But even then, I don't see that happening. I think most of it rests on Cody Bellinger. I think Cody Bellinger has to perform. Like I said, Yankee Stadium plays well for him. He has a chance to put up some really good power numbers next year. It's just a matter of, can he find that swing again? Can he get back to that 2023 form, or even back to that MVP form all the way back in 2019? If he can do that, that bodes well for the Yankees. But if Bellinger's the same guy he was last year, there's just not really a scenario, I think, that the Yankees will be a better team next year. You take Juan Soto out of that lineup, I think Juan Soto also helped Judge in a lot of ways. He was protection for Judge in that lineup. You take away Judge's protection, you also lose your leadoff guy in Glaber. Juan Soto, the fact of the matter is, Juan Soto is a top 5 baseball player on the planet. He's going to absolutely rake. Juan Soto in Yankee Stadium was going to hit 40 home runs every year. He was going to have around 1,000 OPS every year because of the power, because of the eye, how much he walks. And you lost that. And I'm not saying it's their fault. They just got outbid. They went high. They said they even reached near the 700 mark to try to keep him. But the Mets were Cohen was willing to do anything to make Soto a Met. And the fact of the matter was, I think Soto wanted to be a Met, wanted to go play on his own team and not be overshadowed by Judge. I think the Yankees had a really good offseason. I think that they made really good moves, particularly in... I like the Bellinger trade because I really do think... I think he could have a resurgent 2025. I really do. I like the Fried signing. I love the Devin Williams trade. And then Goldschmidt, hey, I think it's a low-risk, high-reward. Got him on a really cheap deal in 1 year. I don't mind it at all. But I still don't think it's enough to overcome losing Soto. I still think the Yankees are going to be a really good team next year. I think they're going to win the East, but I still think the lineup is not going to be as good as it was last year. It's not going to have as much power as it did last year. And we'll say Judge is going to be fine. It may hurt him a little bit, but Aaron Judge is still so elite. It just makes it to where pitchers can pitch around him more. So that's going to be the biggest issue, I think, for Judge next season. I love what the Yanks did, but I don't think it's enough to overcome missing out on Soto. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. There's going to be almost daily sports videos coming out on topics like this. Make sure to comment down below what you think. Did the Yankees get better? So again, Jacob with Next Big Thing Sports. I'll see y'all next time.